A prom night to remember, but not for the reasons anyone expected. Days of Our Lives is about to take a sharp emotional turn as spoilers reveal that Sophia might go into early labor at the prom. And Tate? He's caught in the middle of a night that quickly shifts from magical to traumatic. So what really happens? And what does it mean for the baby, and for Tate and Sophia's future together? Let's break it down. Let's take a moment to rewind and unpack how we got here. Tate Black has been through an emotional whirlwind. His relationship with Holly Jonas crumbled after he betrayed her trust, outing Doug Williams III to Julie without her consent. That one decision cost him everything. Holly was devastated, hurt, done. And with their breakup came more than just heartbreak. Tate was left alone, publicly humiliated, and unsure of what came next. Enter Sophia Choi. Despite her own challenges, namely, a very visible baby bump and the emotional weight of an uncertain future, Sophia surprises everyone by saying yes to Tate's prom invitation. It's bold, it's unexpected, and it flips the entire dynamic of prom night on its head. Let's not forget, just 1 year ago, Sophia was Tate's stand-in date, the backup plan, while his heart pined for Holly. She knew it, and so did he. But 2025 is different. This time, Tate shows up. Not as a distracted teen chasing someone else, but as a young man trying to make things right. He pulls out all the stops. A sleek limo, thoughtful corsage, compliments, undivided attention. For Sophia, it's more than just a night out, it's validation. For the first time in a long while, she feels beautiful. Wanted, seen. And as the night unfolds, there's a glimmer in her eyes, a sign that her feelings for Tate aren't just old memories. They're stirring again. This isn't a pity date. This is the start of something complicated. From the outside looking in, it's a picture-perfect prom moment. The lights are low. The music is soft. Couples sway on the dance floor. Tate and Sophia share private smiles, leaning closer with each song. There's even a moment, tender and real, where a kiss seems inevitable. It's a sweet arc of redemption. A chance to rewrite past wrongs and replace regret with genuine connection. But as with everything in Salem, just when things look perfect, disaster strikes. Sophia is glowing on the outside, but her body is under stress. She's still weeks away from her due date, and all the excitement, the dancing, the emotional overload, it may be more than her body can handle. Then it hits. A sharp pain. A shift in her expression. A frozen gasp that stops Tate mid-sentence. She doubles over slightly, one hand gripping her side, the other clenching Tate's arm. Her face drains of color. Panic starts to rise. Tate, stunned at first, quickly realizes something's wrong, very wrong. The music keeps playing. The crowd keeps dancing. But for them, time stops. Sophia whispers something. Maybe it hurts. Maybe it's too soon. And then it's chaos. Tate calls out for help. Classmates scatter. Teachers rush over. Someone dials 911. 1 minute, they were caught in a magical prom moment. The next, they're caught in the terrifying unknown. Is Sophia going into labor? It sure looks that way. And this prom night, once filled with corsages and slow dances, may turn into a full-blown medical emergency, one that neither of them is ready for. Tate Black had prepared for a magical prom night. A fresh start. Maybe even a chance at redemption. What he didn't prepare for was labor. One moment, Sophia was glowing under the dance floor lights. The next, she was gripping her belly in pain, eyes wide with panic, gasping for breath. No chaperones close enough. No adults ready to take charge. Just Tate, a teenage boy in a tux, suddenly responsible for a life-or-death situation. In a split second, adrenaline kicks in. He rushes to help Sophia out of the venue, guiding her to the nearest car or calling an ambulance, whatever he can manage. The corsage is forgotten. The prom playlist fades behind them. All that matters now is getting her to the hospital. And as they race through the streets of Salem, every possibility floods Tate's mind. Is she going into early labor? Is the baby okay? Will Sophia be okay? Tate's never felt fear like this. Not when he lost Holly. Not when he made his biggest mistakes. Now, it's real. It's raw. It's fatherhood, crashing down on him in real time. He's barely had a chance to process what being a dad even means, and now, he's staring it straight in the face, with no one to hold his hand through it. And the most terrifying part? The baby isn't ready. Sophia is far from full term. This delivery, if it happens now, will come with risks, serious ones. So when they finally burst through those hospital doors, Tate's not just scared, he's shattered, barely holding it together as doctors and nurses rush Sophia down the hall. It's the kind of emotional storm Days of Our Lives delivers best, fast, chaotic, and deeply human. The scene shifts. Fluorescent hospital lights, rushed footsteps, medical jargon echoing off the walls. Sophia is in labor, and it's happening now. Doctors quickly assess the situation, and it becomes clear, this baby is coming whether they're ready or not. Tate can only watch, helpless, from the hallway or waiting room. His prom night has turned into a test of emotional endurance, and all he can do is wait. Machines beep rhythmically behind closed doors. Nurses rush in and out. The sterile air feels thick with tension. The fear of premature birth hangs heavy. If the baby comes too soon, complications are almost guaranteed. Underdeveloped lungs, low birth weight, difficulty breathing. The doctors might have to whisk the newborn straight into the NICU, covered in tubes, hooked to monitors, barely stable. For Sophia, it's a medical emergency. For Tate, it's an emotional breaking point. And in that moment, everything else falls away: prom, breakups, teen drama. None of it matters now. This is about survival. The emotional weight of it all crashes down. Tate may blame himself, wonder if he should have seen signs earlier, panic over what kind of father he'll be, if he even gets the chance. Meanwhile, Sophia is fighting her own battle: physical pain, mental shock, and the terrifying uncertainty of whether her baby will survive. It's a moment that could either deliver a miracle, or a tragedy. The writers could go either way. The baby could survive, giving Sophia and Tate a reason to come together in strength and love. Or things could take a darker turn, giving Days of Our Lives one of its most heartbreaking twists in recent memory. Either way, one thing is certain: nothing will ever be the same for Tate, Sophia, or the child they've suddenly been forced to fight for. Out of fear, out of chaos, sometimes comes clarity. For Tate and Sophia, this night may start with confusion and end in complete emotional upheaval, but what happens in between could be a turning point neither of them saw coming. Until now, their connection has been a complicated mix of past mistakes, teenage pressure, and the fallout of an unplanned pregnancy. They were tied together by circumstance, not choice. There were awkward conversations, avoidance, even the possibility of adoption looming in the background. But something shifts when you face crisis together. When you're in a hospital, fearing for your child's life, the walls drop. The pretenses fade, and all that's left is what really matters. As they sit in that sterile waiting room, surrounded by the sounds of crying infants, hospital monitors, and whispered prayers, they may realize they don't want to let go. Not of each other. Not of this baby. In that moment, looking through the glass at an incubator holding their tiny, fragile newborn, Tate might reach for Sophia's hand, and this time, it's not out of obligation. It's real. It's raw. It's intentional. They might not have all the answers. They may not know how they'll manage school, finances, or parenting. But they do know one thing: they want to try. Together. Not because they have to, but because, through it all, they've found something real in each other. And that decision? It could change the entire course of their lives. So what does this all mean for what's ahead in Salem? First, let's talk about Sophia. Up until now, she's existed on the sidelines, mostly known as the girl who's pregnant, in a messy love triangle. But this moment pushes her front and center. She becomes a fully realized character. A young woman navigating trauma, motherhood, and maybe even love. And Tate? He takes a giant leap forward, from emotional teenager to someone who's forced to grow up overnight. He's not just thinking about Holly anymore. He's thinking about legacy, about protecting something bigger than himself. Speaking of Holly, don't count her out. A story this complex doesn't forget its loose ends. If she returns to the picture, it could ignite a new rivalry, or bring even more confusion for Tate, especially if his feelings haven't fully faded. Then there's the adoption angle. If Tate and Sophia decide to keep the baby, we're entering high-stakes territory. Because somewhere in Salem, there's likely a family that was preparing to adopt this child. Could that family fight back? File legal motions? Apply pressure through the courts, or emotionally through parents and friends? The tension could ripple far beyond just Tate and Sophia. It could pull in the Bradys, the Blacks, and maybe even the Demaras if someone connected to the baby is hiding deeper roots. And remember, this is days of our lives. Nothing happens in isolation. A premature birth at prom may sound like the end of a storyline, but it could very well be the beginning of one of the most emotionally charged arcs of the year. By the time the sun rises after that unforgettable prom night, Tate and Sophia won't just be teenagers in Salem. They'll be young parents, forever changed, forever connected, and walking into a future neither of them expected, filled with risk, love, and the kind of soap-worthy drama only Duel can deliver. So buckle up. Because what started with a dress, a dance, and a second chance, may end with a hospital room, a fragile new life, and a pair of teens forced to make the biggest decisions of their lives. And as always in Salem, the only thing you can count on is the unexpected.